Dear students, we'll now start with the topic on incentives. So, what is an incentive or a bonus? So, it is a sum of money added to a person's wage or salary as a reward for good performance. So, usually incentives have a direct correlation to performance. Better the performance, better is the incentive. So, this is not part of fixed pay of the employee. Okay. The next term, let's understand. This is called piece wage system or piece rate system. So this is a system of payment of wages or salary to employees based on the number of pieces of output produced. So each piece of output has a rate defined. So based on the total number of output pieces produced, the salary or wages paid. For example, maybe there's a rate attached to number of each number of shirts. So for each shirt, if the rate is 20, that is piece rate. Per piece of shirt is rupees 20. For 4 shirts produced, it will be what, 80 rupees. Okay. The next is time rate system. So in this, the payment is based on the number of hours spent. So there is a rate attached for every hour spent at work. So maybe payment is made to a nurse in the hospital for the length of time that she spends. Okay. And then there is something called incentive plans. So that's the fourth term. So incentive plan is generally a written document or a plan which is usually drafted to motivate individuals or group performance within an organization, and it contains the various kinds of incentives the organization is willing to offer to its people to enhance their performance. It also talks about the various kinds of monetary and non-monetary rewards. Okay. Incentive plans can be individual plans or group plans. Individual plans is for rewarding the employee based on his individual performance or output, whereas group plan is for the entire group or is for the entire team. So only if the team performs as per the requirement, everybody is remunerated or incentivized. Now, having understood this, we will move on to the various theories of incentive plans. So please remember, some of the theories talk about time-based incentives and some talk about output or production-based incentives. So time-based is based on time rate system, and output-based is based on piece rate system. So the first plan is Halsey's incentive plan. This is a time rate system. So the standard time is fixed for the job. The person who completes the job before time is incentivized. In this case, if the standard time is 8 hours, let's assume, and if the person completes the job before 6 hours, then the company decides to incentivize him. So how does the company do? As per this plan, the incentive will be 50% of the per hour amount for the number of hours saved. For example, per hour, if the pay is rupees 2, then the person will get rupees 2 additional amount to his time wage. That is, for 6 hours spent, he will get rupees 12 at the rate of rupees 2 per hour, and he has saved 2 hours from standard. So for every hour, he gets 50%. So that is 1 rupee for each hour. So basically, he gets in all rupees 14. Then we move on to Rowan's plan. This is very similar to Halsey's. However, it doesn't talk about the 50% element. The computation is slightly different. Sorry, students. The additional amount of incentive is calculated as a ratio of time saved over the standard time. Okay. So let us take an example for this. In our same example, let us assume the standard time is 8 hours, the actual time spent is 6 hours, and the per hour standard rate is rupees 2. So here the formula says it is calculated as time saved over standard time. So what is the time saved here? 2 hours. What is the standard time? 8 hours. Okay. So the formula is time saved divided by standard time, that is 2 divided by 8, multiplied by time spent. Okay. So multiplied by 6, that is the time spent, and the rate, that is rupees 2. So in this case, the incentive will be computed as 2 divided by 8 into 6 into 2, that is rupees 3. Okay. So the total wage will be for 6 hours at the rate of rupees 2, 12 rupees, and then this ratio, time saved over standard time on the total wage earned, that is rupees 3, so he gets rupees 15. Moving on, the next is Emerson's efficiency plan. So in this plan, a minimum wage is guaranteed for every worker. So that is anyway there, they are not penalized. And incentive is computed based on a factor called efficiency. So Emerson has introduced this term called efficiency. There is an efficiency percentage that is computed. Here the assumption is that the conditions of work are standardized and the standard output is fixed, which is to be completed within specified time. It could be like 10 hours is the specified time and the standard output is 200 units. Okay. So efficiency percentage is calculated, and based on the percentage, workers are incentivized. So supposing the standard output is 200 units for 10 hours, and if the worker produces 200 units, then his efficiency percentage will be actual output divided by standard output, that is 200 by 200 into 100, because it's a percentage. So efficiency percentage is 100%. So he will be in line for a bonus. So the various the various incentives under this scheme are, if the person is able to achieve less than 66.67% or less than 2/3 of efficiency, then he is not given any incentive. If he is able to achieve efficiency between 66.67% to 99%, he is given varying bonus. And if he attains 100% efficiency, he is given bonus at the rate of 20% of the standard time rate. Okay. And for anything over 100%, he is given 1% incentive bonus for 1% increase in efficiency, for every 1% increase in efficiency. We'll have to understand this with an example. So let us take the standard time and output is 10 hours for 200 units. And then the actual output in 10 hours is 260 units. So the efficiency percentage is 260 by 200 into 100, that is 130% in this case. So how is the worker going to be paid in this case? The standard time wages, for 10 hours he gets 20 rupees, 2 rupees per hour. The bonus for 100% efficiency, for having achieved 100% efficiency, he will get 20% of rupees 20, that is 4 rupees. And for achieving, because he is at 130% efficiency, he will get 30% of rupees 20, and that is the additional bonus, which is rupees 6. So when 20, 4 and 6, so 4 rupees 4 and rupees 6 are additional bonus that he gets, and this is added, he gets a total pay of rupees 30. Okay. Now moving on, the next plan is BDOC's point plan. In this system, it uses units or point system, and this also guarantees minimum base wage. Under this plan, the standard time and time taken for each job is reduced to minutes. Each minute is referred to as B. So in 1 hour there are 60 Bs. The worker who completes the job within standard time obviously is paid at normal time rate. Those who complete the job in less than time are paid bonus. The bonus paid to workers, the computation here is 70% of the wages for time saved. And the time saved is divided between workers and management. That is one other addition. Besides this, we have a few plans based on output. So the first one is Taylor's differential piece rate system. As you know, Taylor is the father of scientific management. He proposes two different rates, differential piece rate system. So one is the lower rate, the other one is the higher rate. So for workers who are not able to attain standard output within standard time, they are paid the lower band. The others who are able to attain better efficiency, they are paid the higher band. The next category is the next plan is Merrick's multiple piece rate plan. So here instead of two rates, he has proposed three different rates. So he says workers producing less than 83% of standard output or efficiency are paid at basic rate. That workers who are able to produce between 83% and 100% of standard output, they will be paid 110% of basic piece rate. So if the basic rate is 100, they will be given 110 if they are able to achieve efficiency between 83 and 100%. And finally, those who are able to achieve efficiency or those who are able to produce more than 100% of standard output, they will be paid 120% of the basic piece rate. So it is a higher incentive. And finally, we come to Gantt's task and bonus plan. So this plan is based on careful study of the job, and it combines time rate, piece rate, all these concepts, and it also talks about efficiency. So what it says is if more time is taken by the worker than the standard time, that is he is less efficient, then no bonus is paid to him, only standard salary. But if he is able to complete his task on time, that is maintain 100% efficiency, he'll be given 20% bonus on the wages. But in case he is very efficient, takes less time, that is his efficiency is more than 100%, then wages should be paid as per piece rate, as per the output that he is producing per piece of output. Okay. So students, with this, in the next lecture, I will move on to group incentive plans, and we'll also talk about the various labor laws. Okay, thank you so much.